Welcome to Chennai. It's so heartening to see so many stars, a galaxy of stars who have taken the mutual fund industry to where it is today, to newer highs. Galaxy of stars who have created wealth for millions of people. Galaxy of stars who ensured that last year, when foreign portfolio investors for a couple of months were on a quit India movement, were selling like there is no tomorrow, your money ensured that our markets remained calm and India was termed as an oasis of hope in a highly challenging global environment. Thank you so much. God bless you. As I said, that mutual fund industry has done very well, but within that, your contribution is a lot more. In March of 2017, the industry was 17 lakh crores. In December 22, we crossed 40 lakh crores. So 17 lakh crores to 40 lakh crores is a growth of around 138%. And as you know, in industry, you get money directly from investors, you get money through banks, you get money through national distributors, you get money through the fintechs and the channels that you are all aware about. And I'm sure all of you know this, but on behalf of the industry, I must thank and acknowledge and appreciate the effort of all of you. 138% growth of the industry. All the other channels had a growth which was lower than the growth of the industry. The growth of AUM in the MFD segment is exactly double the growth of the mutual fund industry. So you have grown at over 270% in this period, where industry grew at 138%. That's the work that you have done and the wealth that you have created for your investors. Babu and Anupriya were talking about a lot of global challenges. I think in his inimitable style, he talked about Russia and Ukraine, about variety of other challenges from rising inflation to rising interest rates to geopolitical situation in the world. We really don't know whether there is going to be recession or whether there is going to be much higher interest rates, which can create different kinds of challenges in the rest of the world. But in last 3 years, and this is the third anniversary of COVID, I think we are almost like in the month of March, where we entered into a lockdown. And over the last 3 years, it's been absolutely unprecedented what all of us have witnessed. I mean, in February 2020, exactly 3 years back, if I was standing here, we would all be celebrating market touching a new high. Nifty touched a new high of 12,000. Things were looking pretty fine. But in the next few weeks, what we witnessed was the start of the biggest health crisis in a century, a biggest economic crisis that we have seen in our lifetime, including a recession in India, a big social crisis because of the COVID and other challenges, a big geopolitical crisis in last 3 years, whether it's India, China, US, China, Russia, Ukraine, all of that. And of course, a big climate crisis. I think you are in Chennai and from different parts, what you have seen in last couple of years. Despite all of this challenging environment, this is what the industry has done, and you are bringing newer investors to the industry, doing the handholding. That's why once again you can clap for yourself. And Shyam, where is he, Mr. Shyam from Vellore? Whether we were chatting with Narayan and all that. He asked me that you have to speak something in Sanskrit when you start. And I said that what we have gone through in last 3 years, investors would have felt like being in Kurukshetra, but luckily they had a Krishna in form of you who said, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijanyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sansapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Whenever there is a challenge, there is a Sarthi and Sarthi in form of you who did the handholding, and that's why we are where we are. Now we are entering the Azadi Ka Amrit Kal. Because you said that something in Sanskrit, this is what we have been, I think, saying for since time immemorial. Asato ma sadgamaya, tamso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityor ma amrit gamaya. We are a society that seeks light. that seeks truthfulness, that seeks Amrit. We are a very, very different society. That's why when we are entering the next 25 years to celebrate the 100th year of our independence, we are not calling this period fastest growing economic growth period or a much higher growth on the economy, but we are calling it an Amrit Kal. Zero got invented in India because we were in the search of infinity. We are a very, very different race. And in this Amrit Kal, over the next 25 years, as India creates an economic miracle which is absolutely unparalleled in human history, I think our responsibility as well as an opportunity is to ensure that fruits of that growth are distributed to as many households as possible in India. And that's what I think makes our growth model so different. There are several countries which have grown from an emerging country to an emerged and a developed country. But in next 25 years, as we move from $3.5 trillion to $20 trillion, our growth model will be so different because this will be a lot more sustainable, inclusive, equitable, and democratic. And that's where I think gives us a lot more confidence about investing for the long term. And that's a service all of us can provide to the country, to our society, to our economy, and to the humanity. We are not the ones, unlike a lot of other countries which have grown from emerging to emerged and destroyed the planet or never thought about the future of humanity. Even at this stage, starting from $2,000 per capita, we are thinking about the world, we are thinking about humanity, we are thinking about planet, and that's why we are talking about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world, whole planet is one family, and that makes it so different. And that's why in our job also, I think if we look at, and the title is so pertinent, the key in me, right? I mean, that's what the Amrit we always seek inside us. Buddha said, Appa Deepo Bhava. I mean, be a light unto yourself. And what is that, be a light unto yourself? There could be, the clouds are hazy if you look at globally as well as from a macro perspective. But I think the 3 or 4 things that we need to keep in mind, and Babu was saying that we need to keep take away 2 or 3, I'm sure. We have galaxy of speakers. I think we also have Mr. Sudhanshu here, the person who gave us the Vande Bharat train to India and such a great pride for the country. I'm sure you will have so many takeaways during the day. But while keeping all of this macro environment in mind, I don't want you to lose sight of the 4 key things which are important for our profession, for your business, as well as for the creation of your investors. Number 1, India's economy will continue to do well. We will grow from $3 trillion economy to 5 to 7 to 10 to 15 to 20. Our per capita GDP will grow from 2,000 to 3, 5, 7, 10, 12,000 over a period of time in next 25 years. When we become $20 trillion economy, imagine we are talking about almost same size as what the US was recently, as large an economy as theirs. Over the next several years, this is the faith that we need to keep, regardless of what happens in the rest of the world or what happens around us. I think that's a faith that we need to keep in mind and don't lose sight of that faith. We have the democracy, we have demographics, we have demand, we have digitalization, and he talked about the fintech counter outside. But the most important, we have determination of 1 billion people that this time is ours and we need to make most of it. So number 1, India's economy will continue to grow, will do well. We need to keep that faith. There would always be some ups and downs. US Federal Reserve can increase interest rates. They can take back the liquidity that they have unleashed in last several years, which will have impact on all asset prices, on global economy. Other central banks can increase interest rates. Inflation can inch up. There could be a variety of challenges, but I mean, we have seen several of them. And as I mentioned earlier, that in last 3 years, I think what we have dealt with, we have not only shown a lot of resilience, but we have worked with a greater resolve that we have to make most of. Even if there is any crisis is thrown to us, we will make the most of it and we won't allow any crisis to go waste. So next 25 years, we need to keep this faith. India's economy will continue to do well. Number 2, India is a nation of savers. I'm sure over the generations we know it. The savings pool will continue to rise, which is very important. The number three, a larger proportion of those savings will come into the financial assets. If you look at the entire household balance sheet, out of $10 trillion, half of it is in real estate, 15% in gold, 15% in bank deposits, only 4.8% is in equity. It will continue to grow. Our equity assets were just 2 lakh crores in 2014, which have grown to 20 lakh crores. It's gone up 10x, and your contribution has been much higher in that. But over the next several years, this will continue. I'm sure you remember those newspaper front page ad of crypto exchanges and all, where they were claiming that 10 crore people have participated in crypto. Have you participated? Those people have lost 60, 70, 80%. I'm sure you have read the SEBI study where I think 89 or 90% of the investors have lost money in trading options. The interest in capital market is very much there, but what we need to do is the right handholding of the investors, that through the route of mutual fund, through the route of systematic investment planning, over a period of time, they can create wealth. A 10,000 rupee per month SIP in HDFC Flexi Cap Fund over the last 26, 27 years has become 12.5 crore rupees. 10,000 rupee per month SIP has become 12.5 crore rupees. To become a crorepati, you don't have to start from crores or millions. A person with even 10,000 rupee per month could make that kind of money. Over the next 25 years, as we enter the Azadi Ka Amrit Kal, we have to ensure that we create that kind of wealth for as many investors as possible. And fourth, more important, is the digitalization. I think digital technology is helping us in expanding the net, in going to more number of investors, in really reaching out to even the smaller towns. You'll be surprised to know this. I think in the B30, the digital fintechs actually get almost 75% of their SIP applications from B30 towns. Mutual fund is a pull product today, is no longer a push product, and I think we need to make the most of the digital technology to disseminate, to make the transaction as easier as possible, and to reach out to as many investors as possible. But a lot more important will be to manage the moods and emotions of the investor, because I think we can keep talking about the long term, the news flow, and particularly in this era and time where everybody has got the WhatsApp, and rightly Babu warned you at the beginning of the conference that you will have the notifications and probably the calls and messages from your better half or variety of people. The attention span has gone down, and at any point in time, the investor has so much of information at their end, it also creates challenges at their end, because that, I mean, keep looking at the short-term, the market movement, keep looking at the volatility in the market can be very, very harmful for long-term wealth creation. So investors have the internet connection and they have all the information at their end. What you need to do is plug into their internet. They have the internet, they have all the information. You need to plug into their inner net to manage their moods and emotions, because just like key is in you, the key is in them to ensure that they take the right path and create that wealth, which I think India can create over the next 25 years. I will just leave with, in case you have to take one single formula, a takeaway from here. Over a long period of time, as I said, people have lost money in options, people have lost money in crypto, people have lost money in various other places, but over a period of time, those who have been highly disciplined have created wealth for themselves. And I'm sure all of you have been sitting here and have been in this profession for a very long time, would have lots of those stories to talk about. There is only one formula for long-term wealth creation. There is only one formula for long-term wealth creation, and that's STP. Anyone knows what that STP is? So systematic transfer plan is one, but the STP I'm referring to is not systematic transfer plan. That's sound investment plus time plus patience. Sound investment plus time plus patience. There is no other formula for creating wealth over a long period. 1,000 rupee per month SIP over 27-year period has become 1.25 crore. Where else you can find any other formula for creating wealth? That we need to keep in mind. I think for our business, it's important. Again, I'll just leave one more message with you. What we need to do for our business, number one, handhold the existing client. Several times, as I said, that because of the WhatsApp and the notifications and the barrage of news, at times investors lose faith, they lose confidence and may redeem at a time when they don't need that money. existing clients, I think if we do the hand-holding, we keep talking about 1,000 rupee becoming a crore, but how many of those investors have done that? Because at some point in time, they would have made the mistake. So hand-holding the existing client is very, very critical. Second is encourage the top-up. All your investors, almost all your investors haven't invested enough, haven't invested what they need to invest. They have got the faith in the industry, they have got the faith in the product, but still they are under-allocated for a variety of reasons because they under-appreciate longevity, they under-appreciate lifestyle inflation. So you know inflation is 4-5%, that's real, but there is lifestyle inflation. We are staying in different kinds of hotels, we are doing different kind of travel, we are wearing different kind of clothes, we are doing events or buying gadgets, which were not the case 10 or 20 years back. So there is a lot of lifestyle inflation. And third is larger income. India is not a country where incomes have peaked. Your income is growing every year or every few quarters, then you have to invest a lot more than what you have done. And third is expand the net. So while we can celebrate a lot in the industry where we have reached, but the fact is there are only 3.7 crore unique accounts. In fact, if you look at the number of families, that would be even lower because some of the families may have more than one PAN as an investor. That means we are yet to reach out to a much, much larger population. I think if we keep all of this in mind over the next several years, there is tremendous opportunity for all of us. As again, I'll repeat, news flow would be erratic. The world we are in, the only thing I can say with certainty. The world we are in, the only thing I can say with certainty is continuity of uncertainty. The world is, Mohsin talked about we are in a VUCA world. It's a cliche now, but that's a reality. We are in a volatile, uncertain, ambiguous and complex world. World is moving faster. World is moving a lot faster than what it used to be. Over the last 3 years, we have seen how things have changed every year. Where we started 20, where we ended, where we started 21, where we ended, where we started 22, where we ended. And 23, we really don't know what's in store. So there is no point predicting that other than those 4 things that I talked about. And third thing is everything is questionable because there is so much of information. A lot of data is there with people, but data is not information. Information is not knowledge. Knowledge is not understanding. Understanding is not wisdom. The real wisdom is the STP formula that I told you, the sound investment plus time plus patience. I think if we follow that, then it will be good for the investors. Otherwise, they can continue to do that. I again repeat, because as I'm telling you, looking at the last 3 years, and variety of things can happen in the next 1 year as well. It's very, very difficult to predict. But हमेशा याद रखना, ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं. ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी है. ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है. Thank you so much. God bless you.